Hey, it's Spence C, and today's video is how do you start a music career with no money? I'm uploading daily, and if you like this channel, please hit the like button, comment down below, start with no money for the algorithm, and subscribe. So it's a good question, and what I do with these videos is I do scan the trending topics in my niche, which is the music industry stuff. And a lot of the stuff I've already covered, but this title leapt out at me because often that is a big stumbling block. It's a big constraint for people. I hear this a lot in, music business consulting and in my daily sort of motions as a musician. And talking to people online, they'll often say, well, I've got no money. How do I do it? How do I start? And a lot of people they're overthinking this, I think, because in 2025, it's never been easier to do anything for free, to start any business, let alone a music business. And so the principles apply across the board. And you may already know where I'm going to go with this, but the easiest place to start is where you are right now. You're watching me on YouTube, and this, apart from my phone tariff, actually, which doesn't, I don't need to pay for it because it's on free Wi-Fi. Apart from the cost of the phone, then me recording myself into the phone and posting on YouTube is free. Now, I could grab my guitar, I could get on the piano and start playing music. And that is me. I've published my song, I've put my music out there, I press send, and there it is on the internet. Then I can keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that and keep doing that until it starts to build up. And that's how you start a career in music. It's just as easy as that. And so don't overthink it. It's right in front of you. A lot of these objections, a lot of these questions come from fear, because what people are doing is, that's what it is. Not a good idea to drink pop just before you start doing a video. But anyway, I digress. What a lot of people think is they think of the end first, which is, in some ways, it's good when you have a goal to start with the end in mind. But a lot of people stay there. And instead of thinking of a goal they want to aim for and then bringing it back to today and going, okay, how can I take a little step each day towards that goal? A lot of people tend to stay in the future, in that goal, and then they become overwhelmed because they think, well, I've got to start a career and it's got to be this and it's got to be that. And, and they get overwhelmed. They don't know what action to take. And they think any action they take now isn't going to be big enough to get them to that goal quick enough. But the reality is that any goal you set yourself, if it's worthwhile, is going to take probably twice or maybe 3 times as long as you think to get there, and probably cost more than you think. But however, let's go back to the original question: is how do you start with no money? So bring it back, start with the goal. Let's say your idea of a music career is that you replace your 9 to 5 with playing music, whether that's other people's music or your own music. That's up to you, what your vision looks like. But a career is very different for different people. If you're a music teacher, obviously that's going to be a different path. If you're a music producer, that might be a different path. If you're a studio engineer, if you are own a record shop, if you are a music publisher, so there's lots of things to define here for yourself. Now, I'm assuming here a music career people I'm assuming that you're a musician or an artist and you want to put your music out there. So that's what we'll go with for that. So start where you're at with what you have. And so most people have got a smartphone and you've got access to the internet. So that's where you start. And you start putting content out. And you develop and you refine that content as you go along. And that is it. That's the start of it. As you do that, other things will open up. And I will always come back to busking. If you're a live musician, if you're a performer, even if you're a DJ, right? In addition to the posting, And the content creation, I would add busking in there, because you can also film yourself busking. Then that creates the content. And you're playing in real time. You're playing in a real life situation. You're playing in front of real people, and you're going to attract real fans. So you're attracting people in the real life, and you're also putting the content out on the internet, and people online can find you. So you're repurposing the content, and you're hitting twice as many people as if you just stayed in your bedroom and just did videos like this. So that's how you start. Simple as that. What's stopping you? You know, and I think what's stopping a lot of people, and this is these questions are always more deeper than you think. So I think why somebody might be asking that question is, what's stopping them? And often it's the mindset. It's the commitment. People want everything like now or yesterday, and you'll start comparing yourself with other people who have put in the legwork, who have put in years and years and years of practice and effort, and that's where they are now. But it looks like they've just started and suddenly they become this big success. But don't believe that, because it's not true a lot of the time. You don't see what's gone on in the background, and you only see what people are prepared to present, which again is a lot of the time you don't know the half of it. So just focus on what you're doing and what you're at and where you're at, and do a little bit each day and be consistent and commit to. I thought I heard something. Commit to the long term. So don't just go, I'm going to do this for a month and see what happens. You do it until you get there, and then you keep going. Then you have a new goal. Maybe you get to that goal in a few years' time, and then you go, okay, well, I'm here now. What's next? And on the way of that, your goal might have shifted. You might have finessed into something else. What you first thought was what you wanted. When you actually do it, you might get steered into another direction. You might get new opportunities as you go along. The more visible you get, people offer you things, and people come to you with certain offers and collaborations, and they take you in different ways. So it's just getting that momentum. It's like riding a bike, and you get on the bike and you start pedaling, and then you start to steer in a direction. You don't steer before you start pedaling, and that's what this is really. It's just putting repetitions in daily, and that could be doing one video a day like I'm doing here. It could be whatever you can manage consistently is the best thing to do. If you can only manage like half an hour a week, then do that, but make sure you do that every week. If you can do 2 hours a day, then do 2 hours a day, because if you've got that time, if you haven't got the responsibilities and family life and all that kind of stuff distracting you, then it's possible to do that. But commitment is the main thing, and most people you hear that so often, don't you? And then it loses its impact. But it's so important to commit and do stuff every day. Yeah, even on a Sunday. Make sure you're doing stuff every day towards that goal. Even little things, just putting one video out, putting one post out, sending one email to a venue, or sending one email to somebody who you admire in the industry, trying to network. And I'll finish on this. This is my kind of little five-step plan to apply to your music career, your music business, if it's a business that you want to go into. Because also it could be a job. Maybe you want to be work in A&R. Maybe you want to work at a record store. You want to work in a record label. Maybe you want to manage a band. Maybe you want to work in radio. All these things are possible. But in today's world, what really helps even if you just want to get a job, is to build a personal brand, is to put yourself out there, because then people can see you and see what you're about. So I'll just finish on this. So my little five-step plan, five-step sort of checklist, really, if you're starting out, is O, which is it's open. It spells open. So O is own everything. Own your decisions. Own your goals. Own your copyright. Own your platform. Own as much as you can, and keep hold of that. Own your mistakes. Own your successes. Own everything. And that's commitment. P is performing. There's a few P's here. I always say the P is performing. So whether that's performing live, performing in front of a camera, make sure you're performing. Persistence. doing it persistently. And the other P is persist. No, I've already said that. I'm losing track here. So performing, producing content. So that's the other P. E is engage. When you're performing or when you're producing content, the fans that you get, the people who you follow, who follow you, engage with them. Don't just sort of don't let all the comments go unanswered. Reach out to people who've commented on your stuff. Keep the conversation going. Engage with them. And then N is for networking, which is obviously talking to people, as I said, if you're out and about, especially if you want to be maybe getting a job in the music industry. Talking to people really helps wherever you are. If it's in a music related thing, that's great. If you're in a music store, if you're in a record store, if you're at a gig, wherever it is, talk to people around you. You'd be really surprised who you don't know a lot of the time who you're actually standing next to. That person could be the person who's going to offer you a job. That person could know someone who's looking for a job. That person in 3 years could be someone who's really high up in the music industry and invites you into something because you keep that relationship going, and you get invited into something that you wouldn't normally get invited to because you've built that relationship. And all these things have happened to me in the past. Relationships I've had for a number of years suddenly become fruitful because people change and grow and evolve. And it's the same with you. You know, you're going to be in a different position in a few years' time as well, so you can help other people. So networking is really key to the whole thing. So that's the open strategy. Hope you enjoyed this video. Please put open in the comments down below, or just ask me any questions. If there's any topics you want me to do videos on, put them in down below. All the things, if you want to work with me, follow me on LinkedIn. All the things are in the descriptions. And yeah, just like the video, share it with your friends. I'm looking in the analytics, and I see a lot of people sharing it, which is great. And please subscribe. I'm growing this channel from pretty much zero to as big as it will go. I think we're on about 48 subscribers at the moment, which is just over a month. So slow progress, but slow and steady, and that's what this is about. Showing up each day and contributing. And with that said, I will leave you with my sign off, which is, remember, rejection is just correction, ridicule is fuel, and resilience leads to brilliance. See you tomorrow.